So Dublin 118, Galway 114. Dublin have beaten Galway in hurling. It's a massive shock. It's a huge shock. It's certainly something that no one expected, including all Dublin fans, all fans of the GAA, really, all fans across hurling, certainly did not predict this result today. And Dublin have gone and knocked out the team that everyone expected to potentially beat Limerick. I mean, I actually tipped Galway to win the All-Ireland, and I was made a right fool, but maybe I should do that more, because Dublin were unbelievable today. They really, really were. I mean, defensively, just so well organised. The likes of your Conor Burks and Keane O'Callaghan, Dereck Gray as well, winning so much ball in and around midfield, and of course in and around Galway's half-forward line. I mean, extraordinary stuff from Dublin, an incredible performance. And you know what? I'm absolutely buzzing with that victory, absolutely buzzing, because sometimes with the Gaelic football, although it's great seeing Dublin being so successful, it's great seeing Dublin winning All-Irelands, but you kind of forget that, cheer, that moment where you get up off your chair or you shout at the telly or something like that. I got that today. And, I didn't really get that as a Dublin fan last year in both football or hurling, maybe in the Mayo game to a certain extent in the All-Ireland final, but Dublin always had that game under control. And to be fair, in this game, in the Dublin-Galway game in hurling today, Dublin always had this game under control as well. I mean, Galway never led at all in the entirety of the game. They didn't score their first point until the 13th minute, didn't score their first point from play until the 20th minute. I mean, for Galway to have just 15 scores in a Leinster Senior Hurling Championship semi-final is virtually unheard of. If someone had told me that Dublin would score 118 in this game, I'd say, yeah, fair enough. But I'd also say, that would probably be a poor enough performance by Dublin. If they scored 118, they'd probably, end up losing the game quite comfortably, because Galway would rack up a score of 225 or something to that manner. And that wasn't the case at all. Dublin just, from start to finish, outworked Galway, pressing every time Galway had the ball in and around their own defence. At different stages in the game in the first half, you had the likes of your Shane Coonies, your Porrick Mannion, Fintan Burke on the ball, and Dublin's forwards just really get in their face. They didn't give them time to breathe. They didn't allow them pass the ball out from the back, and no sure hand pass, anything like that. Dublin just really made Galway work for everything they got. And the likes of Dereck Gray, like I said before, the likes of Conor Burke, just forcing errors for Galway, forcing chances that went wide. Galway at different times were shooting from tough angles because of the way that Dublin, were set up so well. And obviously, if anyone watched the game on Sky Sports, you would have seen that they were highlighting the puck out strategy by Dublin quite a lot. I wasn't at the game, so I didn't really get to see it. But apparently all the Dublin players from every puck out were basically moving in every direction, and Galway just couldn't keep up with it. And they were winning so much ball from puck outs. They had that Keane Bowling point. A couple of other points came from turnovers as well. Galway were incredibly poor. Let's not get away from that. Galway were extremely poor in this game. This is probably one of the worst performances I can remember from Galway in quite a long time. I know Dublin done a fantastic job defensively, and there's no two ways about it. Dublin, full credit, deserved the win. And as a Dublin man myself, Dublin should get the credit for this victory. There's no two ways about it. But Galway were very poor in this game, not scoring until the 13th minute. I think they were quite arrogant, in all honesty, in this game. Just at the start of the game, continuously going for goal chances that weren't there. Joe Cannon at the start of the game going for goal when, if that was against the Limerick or Kilkenny, he would have put that over the bar, because, he would have seen that, okay, points are important. And whether he was going for that goal maybe to try and beat the record sooner, I really don't know. But I thought that was just a little bit arrogant for Galway. I don't think they showed Dublin much respect in this game. They were very sluggish. They didn't move the ball quickly enough at all. Their attitude was completely wrong in the game as well. Joe Cannon was missing a number of 65s, sideline cuts. Conor Whelan missed one or two really bad opportunities in front of goal as well. Galway were just very, very poor. And, like I said before, Galway not scoring their first point until the 20th minute, or the first point from play. I mean, that's a mad statistic altogether. You might not get that again, in all honesty, with Galway this year. 7 or 8 turnovers in the first half from Dublin. From the likes of your Conor Burks, of course, winning a lot of ball, and Dereck Gray as well. Owen O'Donnell done a tremendous job. I mean, to be honest, you could highlight all of Dublin's defence here. Paddy Smith had a brilliant game as well. Liam Rush playing as a sweeper was just phenomenal. Really getting himself into that space every time. And it was a mad game, a low scoring game in hurling. You certainly wouldn't expect it at all, really. You really, really wouldn't expect a low scoring game in hurling, especially in today's game anyways. But yeah, we've seen that. Dublin were very efficient. I think they only had like 4 or 5 wides in the entirety of the game. Galway had 11 wides in the first half. And they were just very efficient in front of goal. Oisin O'Rourke, when he came off the bench, was tremendous for Dublin as well. And you were always kind of waiting for Galway to click into gear, especially in the, at the start of the second half. You were always just waiting for Galway to turn it on. And when Conor Whelan got that goal, very well taken goal chance, of course, on the 43rd minute, you really felt like Galway were going to take it up a notch now. They got their goal, and there were opportunities there because of the way Dublin were playing. They were leaving a bit of space in behind, and Conor Whelan had another chance, I remember, straight after. But, Dublin weathered the storm. They really did. And, they just kept chipping away at the scoreboard. They just kept it ticking over, whether it was the likes of your Donald Burks, or Danny Sutcliffe, who I thought was phenomenal in the game as well. Had a really, really impressive game. Danny Sutcliffe really showing that kind of same form that he showed, back in 2013. Maybe not to the exact same heights, but certainly he really turned it on at different points in this game and got some phenomenal scores when Dublin were under pressure. And Oisin O'Rourke, obviously coming off the bench, made a huge impact, of course. Dublin did have a big chance in the 44th minute as well. Ronan Hayes was free, I remember, and I can't remember who. I remember it was one of the Dublin players who were running through on goal. Didn't pass the ball on that occasion. But eventually Chris Crummey gets that goal. It was O'Rourke with the pass. Crummey puts it into the back of the net, takes it around Dana Murphy, and then slots it comfortably into the net. And it was one of them situations where I think Dublin had 2 players free and Galway weren't tracking back. And yeah, just massive complacency from Galway. And, you would have think they would have learned their lesson after 2019 when they got beat by Dublin. I know Joe Cannon wasn't on the pitch that day, but you really would have felt that they would have learned their lesson and they would have wanted to right the wrong. And they just never got going from start to finish. Shane O'Neill never changed the system at all. Dublin, you could clearly tell that Dublin's, the likes of your Dara Gray was winning far more ball, higher up the pitch than the likes of Adrian too. He took him off, made a change at half time, didn't really make much of a difference. And like when you look through Galway's forward line, Brian Concannon had a very quiet day. I really thought he was going to be a contender for Hurler of the Year. Conor Cooney got a point. Conor Whelan with 1-2. Conal Mannion was very quiet as well. Dublin done a phenomenal job on him as well. Liam Rush was tremendous. And Galway just never got going at all. Pádraig Mannion was probably the only decent player for Galway today. I thought he done very well defensively. Got a lot of good hooks and blocks in at different points in the game. But it's the qualifiers now for Galway. Mad. Just really wouldn't have expected that in a Leinster final for Dublin. I mean, and playing either Wexford or Kilkenny, I mean, like it's just mad, it really, really is. This is blown the championship wide open. It really, really has. And I think if you're a Wexford or you're a Kilkenny now, with all due respect to Dublin, obviously they'll be happier that they're playing Dublin in the Leinster final compared to Galway, because I think if Joe Cannon puts them points over, Galway would have won the game, and Galway certainly have the quality there to have won this game. They just didn't turn up for whatever reason, especially going into the closing minutes. Nisa Coyne there says Galway weren't in the halfpenny place today. Congrats to Dublin. Disappointed with Galway's performance. Absolutely, yeah. Galway were just extremely poor, and it's hard to. I mean, I predicted them to win the All Ireland, and I still think they have the potential to do it. But it's going to be very tough for them now. You're going into a qualifiers has Waterford in there already. It's going to have either a Wexford or a Kilkenny. You're potentially going to have to play a Cork or a Limerick. And I think the route through Leinster to get to an All-Ireland semi-final is far more easier, with all due respect, because I think the quality in Munster is so much higher. So I think if, it would have been far more easier for Galway to get to the final. NASA, okay, no worries. A bit like the space agency place, but yeah, no worries there. But look, listen, we'll wrap this up here in the end anyway. Good win for Dublin. Absolutely chuffed for that result. Will we go on and win the Leinster title? I don't know. If we show that same level of work rate, we very well could. But Kilkenny, I think Kilkenny are still the team to beat. And Dublin's record against Kilkenny in recent years hasn't been particularly great. So I know we'll give them a game, and look, listen, maybe Wexford will turn Kilkenny over. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, huge result for Dublin. Tough result for Galway going into the qualifiers. Very hard to see how Galway win an All-Ireland from here. And for Dublin, I mean, who knows? Like Dublin could be onto something special here. I don't think Dublin will go winning any All-Irelands now in hurling or anything like that this year, but certainly with the under-20s getting a victory there over Galway, last week, and beating Antrim the way we did, Dublin certainly moving in the right direction. They really, really are. But yeah, look, and cheers anyone who tuned into the live stream. There'll be more match reactions to come out later as well. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon.